money on sale. I haven't done any sailing, haven't done any shooting. I'm just sales. What's the hell of another one? Oh, it's been terrible. Don't have time for reloading. I've got plenty of ammo.
Well, now you're going to have time for all these
I've got
things.
cases of ammo, but have I shot anything in 2 years? Nothing. The house, the woman. The woman. Little rattle.
Well, you can get wild. Get hooked up with wild and make him.
I'm trying to walk to under the stuff.
We don't really have a lot of structure. We're all gathered here to talk about Jim, showing Jim and congratulating him in his last official day at work. I think he's someone that we all have enjoyed being around through the years, have enjoyed sparring with verbally. He's really good at it. We've seen him get kicked out of a few states, invited not to come back. We've seen him tear up a lot of services. We've seen him enjoy a lot of people a lot of times with us. Both company functions and personal, that probably mean a lot to y'all as much as it does me. So I guess everyone knows, this is Penny. Everyone, of course, knows Jim, Brian, and Pam. Pam is his daughter, Brian's his son-in-law. Greg's unable to be with us. Greg is his son. Greg has gone to Texas, I believe, to start a new job.
Mm-hmm.
And it's fitting, I think, that Greg's starting to work as Jim quits.
He just did.
Almost a week, month. But
He started the day I left.
the day you left?
So you're saying the U.S. economy can only stand one Chinik being employed?
One male Chinik. We've got him to think about, you know. So.
Don't reduce it.
Well, no, we're not going to go there yet. We won't go there yet. But I don't think we have a lot of bad things to say about you at this point.
That's why we had no alcohol at this.
Is introduce Jerry Dick and let him give a quick eulogy and give some gifts away. Please don't come back, that kind of thing. I'll come back in a minute and give some introductions. Hopefully Tom Allen will come hire him away from retirement. For those of you that remember Tom Allen. I think Tom runs COVID now. Excuse me, is employed by COVID.
COVID stopped too, so I would prefer it.
So, without saying anything else, Jerry Dick?
Well, I'm right in the middle of everybody here, so I'm going to have to turn my back on some people. But I'll try to turn it. I'll have to turn around every once in a while. But anyway.
Step over behind Jim.
Jim helped me write this, so but I'm going to have to alter it in certain places to keep the truth in it, you know.
Is that why it's so long?
Yeah, that's right. He knows it. We were just talking about verbose people over here at this table, and I was blessed with two until he retired. Now I just got one. I won't let y'all guess who the other one is. Jim has 30 years and 2 months. I'm going to give a little, you find out stuff about people at retirement you never knew. You thought you'd known them all your life, or maybe all your working life. But anyway, let me just go through a couple of these things that Jim did. He came to work for Southern Bell in Charlotte in May of 1970 after 4 years in the Air Force. I thought he was in the Navy ship. He started in what we used to call the plant department. In fact, some of us still do call it the plant department, where he held these positions. So he was a storeroom foreman. He was an installation supervisor. Oh, that hurts. Bring back memories. And later as a frame foreman. Following this, he escaped to public relations for 2 years in the mountains of North Carolina. And in 1974, he transferred to Atlanta as a staff manager in service costs. I remember him from then. And performed the first loop study for repricing private line services. Wonder how many have been done since. He developed, following that, he developed costs for all private line services for Southern Bell through 1978. And then Uncle Clint Perkins came along and made a pricer out of it. Pulled him into rates and tariffs in the 78. He worked on Synchronet, Megalink Channel Service, Light Gate, and he continued that until he ducked out on us here a few weeks ago. He said, I can't believe he kept up with this. 15 rate cases, 11 interstate annual filings, and 5 antitrust cases, which of course we all lost. But now I don't know if we got some product managers in here, but I'll go ahead and read this. He also claims to have trained more product managers and core team members than any other pricer has.
Can I stop just one
Sure,
second?
this is your deal, buddy.
The very first one.
Don't hurt the waitress.
John and I were working on Megalink Channel Service. And the first meeting we went in, I said, John, we're not going to do it that way. He said, Jim, we've been working on this damn thing for 8 months. We're going to tariff Megalink Channel Service this way. I said, John, we're not going to tariff it that way. And they threw me off the team for 3 months. Go ahead.
That's probably the only truth. I'm going to have to read you this because y'all won't believe it. He said this, but he said this. He says he has no interest in filing additional tariffs, but that wasn't what I wanted you to do. He authorized me to say that he sincerely apologizes for all the weasel words, all the thousands and thousands of pages, and all the theatrical language. On the other hand, he is proud that the services he worked on have all grown to be very profitable. I don't believe he apologized for the weasel words.
Is he going into politics after this?
Yeah.
Now, if y'all know, if you've been up to Jim's place on the lake, he has a big yacht sailing craft out there. It's a beautiful thing, and he's got a beautiful place up there. And he said the real reason he retired now was that he's finally got the house in order. He's got all the pennies, honeydews, and completed.
I don't think so.
This is a myth, but go ahead and believe that if you want to.
Yeah. I think I have a few more.
His family gave him a 3-foot long, radio controlled, one design racing boat, and I can't read the rest of that. So he could compete while standing on the shore. But he ran into one problem with it. There's nowhere to put the cooler, the beer cooler.
Didn't think about it.
They have travel. I don't know if y'all know this, but they've been up in the mountains for a month. And one day I turned on my computer, and looked down there, and there was an email from Jim. I said, "What is this? I can't believe this." He sent me an email from the mountains. But he was just saying if I was paying. I know, honey. Planning on doing. Oh, John, go ahead.
You said Jim wrote that?
Yeah, part of it.
Are you just on the first page?
Look, I'm condensing, buddy. I'm condensing.
Come on, John. Tony.
Depending how you know the truth,
I appreciate you telling me.
He's going to travel a lot. Of course, if y'all know, he's a day trader. I hate to use that term, but
Swing trade.
Swing trade.
swing trader. And he's getting him a wireless PC hooked up so that he can go up in the mountains and just buy and sell and buy and sell. Today might not be a good day to sell our stock from what I saw on there. So, well, anyway, that's all he wrote. Let me just say this, that we pick at Jim a lot, and I don't get too serious. But I don't know how many years, three or four so years ago, I came in and took this district that Jim was in, and had always operated on the side of the fence with the local, had never had interstate services, had been years since I dealt with private line, and they kept me from getting fired till now anyway. And all my group that's here, Jim's friends in our district and all, and Jim, you know, as far as, you know, I always knew when I needed something and I wanted an answer to a question, Jim was there. Now, I'm not saying that he never goofed off. I'm not saying that he wasn't out on the sailboat sometimes when he returned the call.
Or at the barber's chair.
Or the barber's chair. I wasn't going to mention that. Can I tell that story? Is anybody going to tell that story?
That's just too funny.
I got to tell the story.
That's good.
Bill Smith is up in the meeting with the FCC staff, not just the staff, but some of the chief people at the staff. And so he gets Jim Johnson, myself on the phone, and he says, I got a question here that I don't know the answer to. He was paging us back and forth with these, I think, at the time. Anyway, I got to have the answer while I'm sitting here. I've got to answer this question on Lightgate. Well, I knew we were in trouble when you called me on Lightgate. But so Johnson's on the phone. We get Jim, we get Tricia, we get Don Bacon, and they're all cussing this Lightgate tear. I can't find you know? And I said, man, now I'm worried, you know, because I got three of we couldn't find Jim, you know, so we paged. Let's see, how does this go? I paged him, and I put my number in for him to call back. Well, we had the other side of the bridge, all three of us on, had Jim Johnson, and he was relaying. I think that's right. I think he had one of these, and he's relaying a message back and forth to Bill Smith of it. So, in a minute, I said, I heard my phone ring, you know, and Jim says, "Oh, I bet that's Chinik calling back in." So I looked down and I could see the number coming in, but I missed it. So I gave Jim the number because he could bridge, because I'd already used my bridge. I said, so Jim bridged on it. He just calls this number. He calls this number and says, "What's the name, Joe?"
Hair razor.
The hair razor. This is Don and the hair razor, you know. I said, so Jim says, "Is Jim Chinik there?" "Oh yeah, he's over here in the chair." "Hold on just a minute." He said. But here's the beautiful part about the whole story was he gives Jim the phone, and we said, "Jim, we got a problem. We can't find the answer to Bill Smith's question here." So this is the truth, if I understand it. The crazy guy says, "Oh, listen," he said, "that's on page 40. Go down about halfway down the page, subparagraph C, look down that, you know, there it is." So and he gave it to us sitting in the barber's chair, and it was right. It was the right answer. I said, "I don't care if he's in the barber's chair. I don't care." He gave us the answer Smith was looking for. So, that's the kind of nut we've been working with all these years. We appreciate it. We appreciate your hard work and we wish you the very best. And maybe one of these days we'll bring all this crew up to North Carolina and see you in the mountains or whatever.
That'd be fun.
We can all sleep in the bed.
Sure.
So, since Jim is choreographing this meeting, what do we do now, Jim?
Well, I guess since Don Wright isn't here, I'll probably have to give him his Pioneer stuff. Unless somebody, it took 2 weeks to try to find someone from the Pioneers to come and do this for you. And they said, "Jim Chinik? No." on
I didn't
behalf,
pay my dues.
evidently you did. Now you're a life member.
This is
But
good.
this is your life membership certificate and your handy dandy card to go in your billfold. And on behalf of the Pioneers, which I'm not. You're very welcome. Tricia, would you like to?
Just be real careful, folks. Well, this is from the district and all your friends and everything, and y'all just be real careful taking those little pins out. Don't lose too much blood. But we want you to be able to get the the really good digital camera or camcorder that you want, and we knew that we'd never be able to pick it out just right. So we thought this was the best way.
I depend on the next generation. These people know about that stuff. I don't. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Jim, you got,
John?
you have change for a 5 on that boat.
Yes, I do have change. This is quite a sale. You know, I use a lot of Mylar, but I think green is great. This really is.
Put the lips over here so we get a picture of the lips.
Oh, excuse me, we have
Oh, it's
lips.
got lips
It's
in it.
named.
We have lips. It's,
Jim's boat is named French Kiss. He did it in French. It's actually, for those of you that've never seen Jim's boat, it has great big lips on the big sail.
yeah,
On the spinnaker. Thank you.
yeah, they're about 12 foot across. I thought what we could do is, in name of my career, in honor, we call it the slut puppy, perhaps.
No. Your second wife says no.
Easy to keep on.
Women are so sensitive about this stuff. I don't understand it. I got this cute little, dog with big red lips, leaning against a light post, with a mink coat over its collar. I mean, what do you think? Slut puppy'd be good. Okay. But it's just a thought.
That's so cute.
That
It's
is
just a
fine.
thought. Thank you very much. I'd like to say just a few words. I've worked with all of you before. I feel it's great to be here with all of you on this last day. Ron's smiling and saying I'm never going to have to get numbers for this guy again. But I truly have enjoyed working with all of you. I think you're the greatest. It's just been super. Without the people, the company would be nothing. And we've done a lot of really neat things together. We've had some crazy times. We've yelled, we've cursed, we've screamed. But, it's in spite of a lot of the process in the organization charts and all of the commitments and organizations and aspirations, it works because of all of you, and I really appreciate it. It's been terrific. A number of you, like some folks here, have got a hard life ahead, and I wish all of you the best. I know it's going to be a tough time. Some of you have gotten some of my orphans, and oh my, where's, oh, there she is in the back. Yes, Miss Flexibility there. Oh my God. But, just all I can say is keep on keeping on. The end is worth it. The first month being off was fabulous. I really want to make kind of an art form of this whole process. I hope to come back real tanned, maybe another 10 pounds, who knows.
Up or down, down.
Yeah. The way we go, I
Standing or
doubt
up.
it. But I just wish all of you the very best health, success, happiness, and just keep on trucking, because life does go on, and it's the people that make it go. Thank you.
Myself in this organization in pricing with Paul Sager back in '87 is actually with Bob Fleming. Where is Bob? Bob's not here. But Bob introduced me to Jim and Sharon and Trish and a whole bunch of people. Got in with Paul Sager. Then we got Jim Johnson. Then we got our illustrious leader here, Jerry Digg. And I think we've all had a little bit of fun knowing some of the things about your personal life, some of the things about your business life. And weaving them together has been a tradition that is well established. I don't know the particulars. I alluded a while ago to the fact that you got invited not to come back to a particular state. I believe that was North Carolina.
Yeah.
Would you care to elaborate on the particulars?
Well, it was one of those early days of Megalink Channel Service in Lightgate. We had a general marketing manager, Wiley Martin, in North Carolina, who was even more notable than I was. I once was talking with John Ebert, and John didn't really know him. And John says, well, tell me about Wiley Martin. And of course, Wiley Martin is a PGA, he's an AVP. I said, well, Wiley is like a pit bull. And he's got you by the arm. You got two choices. You either kill him or you just give him your arm. And he kind of looked at me and thought about that. But he came back 6 months later and says, you're right. And I think he must have lost his arm in the process. But Wiley threw me out of his office because he didn't want to sell Lightgate. I had gone over his head slightly when we got the number 2 guy in Southern Bell to tell him to file the GD thing that day, and he didn't like that. And then when it came to Lightgate, it wasn't as critical a service, and he threw me out of his office, and he was holding the door open as Sager and I had gone to make a pitch personally in Charlotte, up on the wonderful floor where they have all the conferences, and there were 5 AVPs in the room, me and Sager, and I knew it wasn't going good from the get-go. And as we were going out the door after they told us to go home, I said, Wally, would you take that knife from under my right shoulder blade and put it under the left one? God, it hurts. And he slapped me on the back and he said, get your ass out of town, boy, and I'll tell you when to come back. Well, that was in, when was that? That was in '86. And we didn't go back until 3 months ago after Wally was long retired. And the thing just skated through, nobody cared, and it went into effect and everything was fine. But that's life, that's what happens.
Hey, Jim, why didn't you just throw him Sager?
Even a pit bull has its standards.
I'm going to carry on the tradition. I like this.
Dare I go further? Yeah, I believe it. I think,
Well, that's how I got to first know Jim. I was
Through Paul?
Joe Stanley and Sager and myself used to have to come over here for meetings. I thought that his first name was Dan. Guys, we'd start over and see that damn Chinik. That's how I first heard about
well,
it.
that's how I was introduced to him that way.
Yeah.
When I first started working for him. But Paul's the subject. I'll leave to Bob Flood here in just a minute. Matter of fact, I think I'll go ahead and open it up. We're running a little bit short now. Bob, you said you had a few things that you wanted to say.
I just wanted to share a story because it was Paul and Jim. Jim and I both worked for Paul at the time, and it was comforting for me because I knew that as long as Jim was in the group, I wasn't going to be bottom man on the totem pole. Because both of us argued with Paul, but Jim argued a whole lot more than I did. And we used to have cubes right next to each other, and I'd be sitting there trying to work, and he'd get on the phone with Paul, and the volume would go up and up and up and up. And finally, I couldn't stay any longer, and I'd walk around the corner and look, and Jim would be on the phone, and he would be as red as the lips on that boat, yelling into the phone. Now, Paul, and I told him, Jim, there's no point to this, okay? You're not going to change his mind, and Paul won't let you get away with, okay, we agree to disagree. You're going to have to say, you're going to have to pretend that he changed your mind. And Jim could never see the wisdom in that and would never do it. And I'm personally amazed that he's still here because I honestly thought that one of them, maybe both of them, was going to have a heart attack and die during one of them phone calls. So, Jim, I'm glad you outlived him professionally. I really am. I really am. But Jim, I got to give you credit. I've never seen anybody less willing to back down from a disagreement than you are.
Thank you very much.
I assume that does not take place with her.
That's right.
Hey, that's pretty good, one yanking to another. We understand each other.
Yes, we do. Very much.
Well, I had another similar story about Jim and his Thunderbird. Now, Jim and Sharon Davis both had red Thunderbirds. I don't know how many of you know Sharon, but one wasn't yours newer than hers by a
No,
year?
hers, yeah, mine's newer.
And that
Faster.
fact was always an irritation to her. But among other things. But Jim was always doing things with his motor, trying to fine tune it, make it go a little faster, make it sound a little better, make it run a little cooler. And I don't think that stopped yet. But one time I agreed to ride to Birmingham to a meeting with Jim. And there were 3 of us in the car. Jim was driving, of course. And as we topped the hill, and I believe we were in excess of 130
I don't know if it's quite that high.
Well, I think it was closer to 140 when I looked, but we really weren't on a company business.
I was demonstrating that cruise control would work at 115.
And it was working quite well until we topped the hill and saw that Georgia State Patrol sitting on the side. Now, I have never seen anyone grab as many gears. He's got a straight shift, and as you downshift, you can slow the vehicle down in addition to applying the brakes. And we passed the cop about 90. Easily passed him at 90.
Well,
and the man never looked up. I don't know who was looking out for him, but he had some kind of guardian, and it was a heavy shield around that red car as we were flying down there. And I've never ridden back over to Birmingham with him.
That's true, that's the last time.
No, actually, I just had a larger car now. The back seat of the Thunderbird is not comfortable.
No, that's why he does. That's why he drives. I know why he drives.
I like big cars, I like to be really comfortable. I make tall people sit in the back with pillows.
Thank you.
There you go. Butch always rode in the back. Do what?
You weren't looking at it.
No, not for tall people. No, tall people always. But well, only when he stands up. He's better than me. Are you standing up there? But when we got over there, Jim and I were talking about the adventure of going by the policeman, and to this day we really have never had any idea why the guy didn't look up, didn't chase us down and shoot us. We were going so fast. He was either asleep filling out paperwork, or he couldn't see us because we were going so fast. But,
After Jim did back in 1976, and we worked together for about 24 years. And for y'all that are not familiar with it, they had a big scandal in North Carolina right before that. John Ryan, who was vice president up there, was accused of some very serious offenses. And very shortly after that, he was fired, and Jim left North Carolina. And the rumor that circulated around at the time was they had actually gotten the wrong man. So,
I want
and hold at the same time.
Oh, yeah, I
So-
can stand up. I'll put my hand up. No,
Oh no, you're in good shape.
I'll do my belt. Damn, it was a good vacation. Well, this one's been rid hard to put up something.
I don't believe it came UPS grant.
Listen, it's been shipped back and forth to Salt Lake City twice. Good.
When we hooked it up in Jerry's office, it didn't work the first time.
Now, we moved from the Galleria to the Colonnade, and as fortune would have it, it was shipped to the Galleria. Of course, we weren't there anymore. And it was shipped back to Salt Lake City. Well, actually, it's been only twice, I guess. So it came back. But do you want to open it now? Or you want
No, I'll just leave it like that.
300 disc changer?
It's
It's
the 5.
300?
Oh, 300?
Looks like 300 disc CD changer.
Holy
That's kind of
cow.
not a number now.
No?
Don't get it to 300. You couldn't get that many.
Yeah, you can.
This is a surprise.
I think it's a 300.
I think it was supposed to be a 5, but it's 300. That's great. I'll have to buy a few more CDs. That's cool. We can do this.
Now, we've got curiosity going on now.
Everybody got knives? Everybody be packing.
There it is.
It's
All right, looks like it's.
It's a 300.
Oh, I was talking about this, and he was
Oh,
talking.
that's.
It's a 300.
Well, I'll be damned.
Well, look at this remote control.
All right.
Does it go up to 300?
Oh, your lapel pin's in there too.
Oh, this is
See, we didn't want to open it.
Additional?
We had to bring it over here this morning.
I want to make sure I was leaving.
But we never dreamed that this was coming from Sony would have this in it. Look at that.
Oh,
An appreciation and recognition for continuous and loyal service. We present this certificate for 30-year service to Jim Chinik, May
Thank you.
the 7th, 2000.
I just want to
I'm
say.
glad we got this.
Yes. There was another illustrious guy a number of years ago who made a lot bigger waves than I did, and his name was Dick Snelling. And old Snelling Says So was a big thing with BellSouth, with Southern Bell at the time. Dick said a lot of things that were kind of borderline, you know, and I kind of would say, Dick, it really isn't profitable yet. That isn't really happening, you know, and Luann isn't here. You know, it was Acupulse at the time and all those other things. And I said, at one point I said, well, geez, you know, I'll come visit you in jail. And he looked at me and didn't even blink. He came back and says, don't worry, you'll be there first. So about 5 years after that, I went to Dick's retirement because I knew he had big shrimp. He had the big shrimp. These were great shrimp, but those were huge. They were jumbos. And I knew he'd have them, so I went to his retirement party for only that reason. And then I got feeling boisterous and, you know, that kind of stuff. And I said, well, looks like you're not going to jail, Dick. He says, yeah, but it's still not too late for you. At this point in the game, I don't think I have a problem. And thank you very much.
Well, why don't you get Penny to put your pen up?
Oh, could I?
It's a lapel pen.
It says SBC.
But it came
I'm
from-
sorry, I can't stop now. I'm on a roll.
While he's doing that, does anybody else want to add anything?
Yeah.
John?
Oh, here, the back part. That's what you gotta do.
You know, it was in 1985 that I was brought to Birmingham from the state of Louisiana, and I used to talk like that, me. But I changed my vernacular to some degree. But in August the 4th, 1985, I was given the Megalink and the Lightgate product team, which I had no idea what that meant. But I came over to this building, Southern Bell Center, and at that time they had pricers for Southern Bell, pricers for South Central Bell, and some kind of pricers for BellSouth services. But Jim and a whole host of folks were in this meeting, about 45 people, and coming from the plant department at that time, you know, I was ready to file this tariff called Lightgate, first introduction in Southern Bell, in about 8 weeks. And I just knew that 8 weeks, 12 weeks outside, we would be able to file this tariff. And I was canvassing the whole group there, and we got to Jim, and at that time, they catered kind of nicely in our meetings. And I think Jim had a biscuit in one hand and a donut in the other, and all he could do was. So I left the meeting. I adjourned. Matter of fact, the guy that was doing the planning for that for the service asked me, and he'd been on the team for 3 months, Sam Ellison. He says, "Where are we with this service?" I said, "Oh man, we're in trouble." But I left the meeting, and I said, who was the guy who was eating all the food and laughing? And they told me it was Jim Chinik. So I went on to have an opportunity to be a produce manager for about 7 years, and during that time worked with Jim on.
Can I correct one thing?
Right.
Produce mangler?
Yeah, well, that might be it.
Trainee.
Yeah, trainee. I worked with him for 7 years on Lightgate, Megalink, Channel Service, Megalink. I will tell you, some of those times were somewhat intense. And during the course of one of the filings, I happened to pull in the hospital. I thought I was having a heart attack. Late one afternoon. This is true. Everything I'm going to tell you is going to be true.
Say what?
And I pulled into the hospital, you know, and I said, you know, folks, I think I'm about to die here. I'm having a heart attack. And this was during the intense times of Lightgate and working with Jim and different things. They put a mask on me and started taking my blood pressure. The doctor got real close down on my face and he said, "Son, what's wrong?" And he lifted the mask off me and I said, "Chinik." And you know, I was in the service, and one thing when you get in the service, you always remember your DI's name. Matter of fact, your DI will tell you that you'll remember my name and your mama's name, and you'll remember those the rest of your life. And in the service, my DI's name was Hyder, Hyder. I can also say that for the rest of my life, I'm going to remember my pricer. Chinik, that's right. Thank you, Jim. Enjoyed it.
Just didn't mention anything about Tim here. Tim brought me out of the dark ages with big cats, and I'll never forgive him for that. Just, you know, it's terrific working with all of you, and I really hope you can go back after a good meal and sleep this afternoon, you know, waste a little time. Duck your bosses.
I wish you'd drive down at least last week.
Hey, we came down at reasonable speeds. It was just 85 miles an hour today. The other day I came down with my uncles and was taking them back to the airport, and I said, you know, for your next cocktail party in Washington, you need to tell them about how fast Atlanta is. And by that time I was speeding up a little bit. We passed through 115 coming through Spaghetti Junction southbound on 85, and they just looked at me, and my uncle had just got through telling me how responsible my son was driving within the speed limit. And so we just, went through at high speed and came back down again. Got on the airport in plenty of time. God, we made it to the airport in about 40 minutes.
And I was not in the car.
But it's a neat town, and it's a crazy town. As anybody who's ever tried to get anywhere on time in Atlanta, it's crazy. And I just couldn't come back from telecommuting. I'm sorry, it was just one of those things. God, it's so nice out there. And if you can do it in the future, if the opportunity presents itself, I just say it's good. Some people like it more than others, but it's just a good time. We can get a few days, few hours by yourself to do things, and the business is crazy, so you need every little bit as a safety valve. Enjoy.
Can you have served breakfast too? Does Penny bring you available about 10? Like we're talking to, oh, here's a donut.
Well, there were a few nice things about being at home. The worst thing I had was I almost died last year from ants in my pants. And I guess that's the last story to end it on is there are hazards at home. It's not just downtown Atlanta where you can get, mugged or, something sneak up on you and grab you. I had been sailing the night before, to make a long story short, threw my sailing shorts down on the floor because it had been windy and rainy, and so, we had a lot of water, so I just threw them on the floor, didn't think about it. Next morning, I don't wake up very early, put the shorts back on again, and went in for a conference call with Nancy and them. And we're sitting there, and all of a sudden, I'm starting to say, I'm going out. I don't know what's happening. I'm losing it. And so I hung up the phone immediately, ran around to the front door where Penny was, and said, look at my face. Is my face looking real red? She's, God, you look terrible. Paid to the bedroom. I had to stop at the bathroom because that's the other part of shock. You lose control. So I'm there, and I'm looking at my shorts on the floor, not to go into graphic detail, and I'm looking there, and I said, what the hell's that? And I'm looking at little ants, little fire ants, all inside my pants. There were 20 or 30 pants. And so the little rascals weren't biting me. They were eating me like a good raw steak. And they were driving me into shock. I mean, truly, I got back to the bed, the vision shuts down, you see it go into tunnel vision, and you hear your blood pressure was up, the pulse rate was up, the body temperature was down 5 degrees at that point. I was going, everything goes to your core region, and I'm saying, okay, I'm dying. And I'm thinking to myself, God, how are they going to remember old Granddad? Oh yeah, I remember him. He died from ants in his pants. And I said, I'm going to, if I'm going to go out this way, and at that point I just, you get that second bump up, you're going again. And I said, I am not going to die. She got there with a Benadryl, cold packed my face, and I'm still here in front of you today as testimony. The little guys did not get me. But they're out there, and with extreme malice and prejudice, I have eliminated every mound within a quarter-mile radius of my place. They have had extreme pain because of what they did. So beware of ants in your pants. If I could leave you with anything that's lucid and important, that would be it.
How'd you get them out of your pants?
Guys, it was training.
And I hope you make another 25 years. We're the same woman. John?
Congratulations. Congratulations. Y'all stop by, where I live. We got plenty of bedrooms, so we're going that way. This big place.
You never can tell. I'm hitting a bunch of people. Yes,
Too easy.
Too easy.
Good seeing you. You have a good.
Yes. Same to you.
You got an email address, right?
Yes. It's jchinik@home.com.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I've got BellSouth.net, but I don't know how long I'll do it now. I have at home right now.
I'll never remember that, but Jim's going to get that out.
Oh, yeah. So he'll do that.
Congratulations.
John, best wishes for you. Maybe I'll see yours.
Behind yourselves.
be fine. I just don't like to keep in good health.
I hope so too.
It's the little things that get you, you know, you didn't even know it was there.
I wish you the best. I'm sure you're gonna enjoy it.
And I hope you have some good things.
I'm hoping to follow suit in about no less than 5 years, so we'll see how it works.
It just, it'll happen so fast. Just remember, illegitimus, non-carborundum. Don't let the bastards grind you down.
Thank you for everything you did for us.
Yeah, that's true. You can put that on your wall and everybody knows what it means.
Take care of yourself, man.
Best wishes.
Maybe pop up to you on the lake someday when you're up there.
We're there sometimes. Well, it's good to it's nice to see people, and it's nice to see people happy and get meetings. I'd rather do one last time.
Don't be a stranger.
You never know what's
And if you have any mortgage advice, feel free to email us. You got my email.
all right.
I'll always take care of you. Because you want it. You got it made.
This is okay.
You have it made.
Stay healthy. Well, and if my market experts here can tell me what to do, I do owe you. I do owe you. I know your tips too. That's when I just said.
Hello.